Every word has a history, and in this video, I'm going to teach you the history of a very simple word, the word clue. It has a very surprising story that I only learned recently. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing, and now let's get into it. Sometimes it can be really interesting to explore the origin of words. Anytime you are learning a word, one thing you can do to get a deeper sense for that word or to get more context is to Google the word and then the word etymology. The word etymology. I'll write that down for you. And etymology is exploring the origin or the history of a word. And so you have this word that you use today. You wonder, why is it this way? Why does it have this sound? Well, there are all kinds of different reasons why it might be the way it is. Maybe it was invented last year. Maybe it came from Old Norse. Maybe it's from Chinese. Who knows, right? So it's I think very interesting to explore it. Now, is it necessary? Well, it's not necessary. No, it's not. But you can start to make connections between words the more you study the origin of words, the history of words, where words come from, because you'll start to see roots, word roots, prefixes, and suffixes that are common. And you'll say, oh, I think that comes from Latin. Or this one seems like just the structure of the word. Maybe that seems similar to another word. And so you'll start to make these connections. It can be helpful. But it is interesting, I think. And one that is, in particular, very interesting is the word clue, a very short word. Clue. What does clue mean? Well, clue is similar to a hint. It is a thing which might help you to figure something bigger out, right? And if someone gives you a clue, if someone gives you a clue about something, then maybe that will lead to another thing. And that might lead to another thing to then figure something out. Could be a mystery. It could be a problem. It could be whatever, right? Something that needs to be solved. Give me a clue. Now, the word clue was originally C-L-E-W. Now, let's look that word up in the dictionary. Let's look that up on Merriam-Webster, shall we? Let's pop over here. C-L-E-W. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And this might surprise you. A ball of thread, yarn, or cord. And then the second one, clue sense 1, lower corner or only after corner of a sail, a metal loop, okay, to roll into a ball, all right? Now, if we keep going down here, we find something very interesting. A little story. Did you know the ball of thread, meaning of clue, from Old English, blah, 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 has been with us since before the 12th century. In Greek mythology, Ariadne gave a ball of thread to Theseus so that he could use it to find his way out of his father's labyrinth. Rather, her father's labyrinth, not his father's, excuse me. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not his father's labyrinth, it's her father's labyrinth. This and similar tales gave rise to the use of clue for anything that could guide a person through a difficult place. So we have a specific story, and the myth of Ariadne and Theseus opens up a new way to use this word in a more abstract way. We use it abstractly to mean anything that I might find out or get that can help me figure something else out, right? It's a little piece. But originally, that's a specific thing, a ball of yarn. So the original story, if you don't know it, is just that. There's this lady, Ariadne, and she and this guy Theseus, who has volunteered to be sacrificed to the Minotaur, the bull, this beast in the center of the maze, who actually plans to kill him. That's his ultimate plan. Is given a little thing by this lady who falls in love with him the night before he goes into the maze where the Minotaur lives. And the maze is designed by Daedalus, this great inventor, who's invented many things. And nobody has ever made it out of the maze. But Ariadne gives him this ball of yarn, which he uses as he goes into the maze to help him find his way out. Anyway, he finds the bull. The bull is not happy. He ends up killing the bull, but the bull is actually grateful because he lives such a miserable life. And let me show you this one here. Here's him in the maze with his ball of yarn. And here comes the Minotaur. Half man, half bull. Not happy. There's even a maze on the wall. So anyway, that's a clue. That's a clue that she gives him. And now we have this word, and we never really think about, at least I've never that often thought about the original meaning until I learned about it recently. But now that I know that, it kind of adds a layer of depth to my understanding of this word. I don't think it will change how I use it. I don't think it will change when I hear it, how I feel about it when I hear it. But just knowing it somehow gives me a depth. And that's an interesting part of using language, is you get these, every time you hear a story like this or learn the etymology of a word or the history of an idiom, you get this slightly bigger picture, and it makes the language itself more interesting. And I think that makes using it more fun. I think it makes it possible to speak with a little bit more nuance and depth, right? But it's very difficult to say exactly how, right? It's hard to exactly describe, but I think it does, right? Just knowing that somehow rattling around in the back of my mind now is cool, is interesting. So go out there, if you want, explore words, find out where they come from, what they mean, and see if it changes at all the way that you're using the language. Or if you find anything interesting, just let me know. If you haven't done so already, of course, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and get a free course in the links in the description.